Alright folks, turn 31. The Soul Twisters have been deployed, and they've done pretty well actually. We were attacked in Batamore by a group of mercenaries. This is the Snake Charmer. Lost a few militia, but wiped out my province defense very effectively. In Ghent we moved our whole army in. It's not a huge army, but it's got some stuff going for it. Rolled over the province defense, no trouble. The Minotaurs actually just went in and trampled everybody, and that was fine. Yep, there we go. In Mountains of Evernight, we bounced off of the throne to see what's here. Just to confirm, I think I've done this once before, but I just needed to double check because I forget things. 5 sages with astral pearls. He's got 2 wolf deer tribe shamans, sorry. Air and nature, but not really going to do much with it since he's air and nature 1. I think there was another wolf tribe or deer tribe shaman somewhere. Maybe there's only one. Pardon me, got a frog in my throat. And they're led by a lore master with death, earth, water, and astral. So he could push himself up to 3 in any of those and 5 in astral. Not entirely sure what spells he would cast, but all these guys are quite vulnerable. They can buff themselves with astral spells, obviously, but they are still pretty vulnerable. So, I think I could actually take this with a mass thug deployment. That being so, there are also battles in Golem range. My Soul Warrior went in and beat up the Ormite little force here. So we can see him. Isn't he so cute? He raises his little sword when he casts Personal Luck. Astral Shield, resist magic, kicking his magic resistance up to a mighty 18. Not very good for super combatant status, but he's not really a super combatant. However, he does regenerate, have the Astral Shield that paralyzes people that attack him. He's lucky. He reinvigorates, so he's fatigue negative. And he's got high prot, high defense score, and decent attack score. He then teleports immediately to the back, kills a commander, starts teleporting around, and he gets totally surrounded, but with the Vine Shield effect plus the paralyzing effect, he's just not getting attacked. I mean, he's barely getting attacked, and when he does get attacked, he pretty much just doesn't take any damage because of his high prot. So this is an excellent defensive setup, and as a result, he just beats his way through this army with no trouble whatsoever. It's a whole bunch of kills. He's killing at least 1 person per swing. And, yeah. Good old teleports behind you is definitely doing his job, making his namesake very, very accurate. So that was in, I think, Golem range. Yep, then in Good Water, we sent in our second one. This guy was a little bit less lucky. He doesn't have the Vine Shield. He has the Golden Hoplon. And the Golden Hoplon is good. It gives him a high parry value and all. But underwater, his parry value is penalized. So it only ends up being 21. And he doesn't have the Vine Shield effect, so... yeah, underwater, these mermen are actually quite fast. He gets all his spells off, though. The mermen surround him. He teleports around to the back. But he's taking a lot more attacks, and mermen have poison. And one of their attacks applies a point of poison, and it gives him a never healing wound. So he was never in any real danger, except from very, very bad luck. But he still lost 20% of his HP forever. But he has still conquered the province. He's down to 24 hit points now, which is a little bit sad. But overall, he's doing okay. Definitely glad that I gave him that Burning Pearl, though. Otherwise, his attack skill would be very, very low. And teleports behind you now has Iron Will, which is fantastic for him. That kicks his magic resistance up, and it will continue to go up as he stays in the Hall of Fame. Fantastic. Also, we found Mount Frost. Gives us 2 water gems per turn, so now we're making 11 water gems per turn, which is also fantastic. So, we're cleaning out all these provinces. Bugsy Seagull is actually hopping back here. We've alchemized some to imbue another Soul Warrior and get him gear. And what we're actually going to do is we're going to drop Bugsy Seagull, 3 Soul Warriors, all 3 of our Soul Warriors, and some troops from these nearby forts onto Mountains of Evernight. And they should be able to take the place. I mean, there's a lot of units here, but they're all pretty much just chaff. The biggest danger is being buried in arrows, and my thugs are highly, highly arrow resistant because they have shields, because they have high protection everywhere. Yeah, they don't have much to worry about from archers. There are no crossbows here. So what we're going to do is we're going to get all these guys set to attack rear, let the units advance towards us, and then they're going to pop up into the back and hopefully kill the commanders and the mages really, really quickly. Now, there will be a barbarian chief or so in there, and that will have to be dealt with. But I think we can rout the enemy pretty effectively. I mean, Bugsy has awe, so he's not really going to get attacked, and in here he'll have like 170 hit points or something. Down here, you know, this guy has Divine Shield, so in melee he's not really going to get attacked, and he has decent protection. We will get one of our Soul Twisters to come in and cast anti-magic, so that we don't have to cast resist magic individually on everybody, and so that our troops that we bring can resist the Lore Master's spells. And I think we'll be able to clear this throne very effectively. Then, since that has Lore Masters and Sages, I'm not sure which throne it is. I really don't know. It could be pretty much any of these. Like, it could be the Inner Throne. The Inner Throne doesn't have any requirements. It could be, like I said, it could be any throne. Probably not the Throne of Death. Yeah, it might be any of these just because none of these really tell me. I hope it's... The Crystal Throne would be pretty fantastic. The Silver Throne would be very fantastic for me. I would love to have the Silver Throne. Throne of Death would be great. The Inner Throne would be fine. Throne of Death would actually be really great because it would give me a ton more Death Gem income. It would, of course, hurt my growth scales, but that's okay. I'd still take it. So, that is turn 31. I'll see you all in turn 32. Like I said, we're kind of cleaning up all these provinces down here. These guys might get away by going down to Golem range. I might actually just keep this guy here. Yeah, just defend. I don't really need to hop over here right at the moment. And so if these guys bounce down this way, then teleports behind you will clean them up. If they go up this way, they'll win, but this province isn't super useful, so if they want to keep raiding back and forth here, they can, that's fine. And of course we will take this province, with troops coming from here. We'll take that province back, with troops coming from here, Voldan, and everyone else will patrol. And if this army moves out, they'll run into us. And I think we'll be able to stop them. It is mostly golden hoplites, but I think we can probably still stop them cold if they come after us. Our Great Sentries are much more powerful than golden hoplites are, and we also have a few tramplers, which would be kind of hilarious if those did any work. I don't know if they will, but it would be hilarious if they did. So, that's the plan, and I'll see you all in turn 32. Alright folks, Mirrorpoint turn 32. In this turn, a couple good things and a couple bad things happened. So first of all, we took Batimore. We took Mire of Mystery with our Soul Warrior. Had a few mermen there, but these Soul Warriors, they're really solid. I mean, especially with as much gear as I've given them. Honestly, these guys are very, very heavily geared in terms of gem cost, certainly. I mean, that's 15, 25, 35, 45. That's 55 gems right there on top of the 25 gem cost just to recruit these guys. So this is a 70 gem investment. And he's actually, in particular, none too powerful for that cost, but just the mobility. I mean, you really do pay a premium for that kind of mobility. It's pretty ridiculous. And you can see here, it's worthwhile. He just teleports back here and starts murdering people with no trouble whatsoever. Plus, of course, teleporting all across the world is very, very handy. We were attacked, or rather, we attacked Esquinia. We were also attacked in Ghent. He just bounced a magistrate off me. But then, he also attacked me in Sailor's Haven. And Sailor's Haven is up here. I had failed to notice that there was a land connection. And, of course, this is the province that I just moved Monhelti to in order to site search for death sites. So, Monhelti was attacked by Putin the Horned Serpent and all of his militia. And Monhelti died, because I don't have any... I mean, I have Horde of Skeletons, and Horde of Skeletons, like, helped with situations like this, but Monhelti was only one Death 2 Skeleспammer, and that doesn't lend itself too well to overwhelming huge armies, so he got stabbed to death. But fortunately, Monhelti now lives again as a white mage, so that was fantastic. We killed a whole bunch of scouts, 3 of them in total, in Ghent. We got some extra gold, and we found a huge treasure. I love these events. These treasure events, they are fantastic, and that luck 3 is really, really paying off for me. So, we have a whole bunch of money. We're building our fort up here. We've still got Melbon preaching and patrolling, although I'm actually going to move him down to this province, just to make sure that nothing terrible happens and takes our forest and our enchanted pyre away. We're spending one more turn before we go in against the mountains of Evernight. First of all, Bugsy Siegel is hopping down here to re-clear Sailor's Haven, get its income back. Secondly, we are moving an army of gelatinous cubes underwater, under the command of Yellick. They're going to go down here. I think 15 gelatinous cubes could take on these guys, unless he's pumped a whole bunch of province defense in here for some reason. This province, we're going to hit with Nothing Personal Kid. Down here, teleports behind you, the Soul Warrior, who does not have a Ring of Water Breathing, is going to hop over here to 2 Spruce Forest, and Vinzel, the Soul Warrior, is going to hop down this way, who has pretty good kit. Bind Shield, Black Steel Plate, Crown of Lead for the extra magic resistance. Like teleports behind you, but without the extra reinvigoration, basically, because the Boots of the Messenger and the Girdle of Might are excellent reinvigoration, actually. But in any case, Vinzel is going to hop down there as well, so we're going to take both of these provinces, cut off his capital, and we are gathering our army in Ghent. The army that we are gathering in Ghent is honestly quite impressive. We've got close to 40 of our great sentries. We've got a huge, a large number of warrior bugs. Probably too many, to be honest. Probably we might even do better with just straight up fewer warrior bugs. Got some Moss Knights mixed in there. We've got our Minotaurs. This is a pretty solid force, and we will use it to besiege Orem, and we'll hop our thugs in, and we'll get ready to bust the place down. We've got 258 siege strength already in Ghent. Over here, that's another 100, so 358, another 30. We'll be over 400. Oh, and we'll take those guys as well. So yeah, we'll be over 400 siege strength. He's got 170 units in there, but the gelatinous cubes do not really contribute since they're mindless, so they're bad at siege defense. Everybody else is about 1. We should be able to crack Orem in maybe 2 turns. And like I said, what I'm going to do is, rather than go for the throne, actually, I'm probably going to hop my thugs down here into Orem, just to make sure that if his armies try to break out, we have a little bit of counterplay available. But we should be able to. The gelatinous cubes, I think, can probably finish rolling through the lake to claim that. And we'll just kind of see how we go. Now, Man has been waging very successful asymmetrical warfare against Ulm. I think they've agreed to peace. At least Ulm's player just subbed out, and I think the sub has agreed to peace. Ulm and I have been talking about attacking Anor Londo, which seems fair to me. Orem is down here on his chevauché through Anor Londo's territory, just rampaging around with an army, which is pretty cool. And I, of course, have my scouts slowly infiltrating further through the whole area. I think Anor Londo is definitely kind of probably on the way out. And I need another scout there. I don't know why I don't have one this turn. And all of my boys here are still preaching. So in a couple of turns, we're gathering up troops. We're building up Hallownest Lancers. Over here, we're pumping out Great Stags, which are pretty good against your tribe. And up here, we're pumping out Hallownest Lancers as well to hop down and attack. We actually can recruit a mage this turn. And so in a couple of turns here, we will hit Mountains of Evernight. I think I'm going to wait 1 or 2 turns before I recruit another, before I summon another Soul Warrior, because they are kind of expensive to summon, and I don't really have the Astral Pearl income to keep it up constantly. I am going to have Monhelti, I think, just cast Dark Knowledge instead of running around looking for... Actually, tell you what. Yeah, let's just have him move. We'll just have Monhelti move and go site search manually for death sites in order to get them a little bit quicker, because my death income is very, very low, and I would like it to be much higher. So, that's the turn in terms of research. We're running down Alteration. Alteration level 4 will give us Body Ethereal, which is a great little buff that my thugs will be able to cast on themselves to make them ethereal. 75% ignoring 75% of non-magical attacks is a great addition to their defensive kit. And of course, as we go further down, we'll eventually be able to hit Will of the Fates and Arcane Domination, and etc., etc. And then once we go down to Enchantment, we'll get Unraveling can be very good in the late game, interestingly. But what was I thinking of? Thaumaturgy, I'm sorry. We'll get down to Master and Slave, which we can definitely cast. With our Soul Twisters, Astral 4, all he needs is a boost from a Communion up to, and maybe a Werriga booster or 2, and I can absolutely drop Master and Slave in combat, which would be very, very cool to have. And of course, we're building the fort up here. So in terms of forts, we're doing really well, actually. We've got 1 under construction. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 6. Yeah, that'll be the 7th, and then we'll take Orem. That will be number 8, and hopefully we'll also get Andoria. But we'll see. We'll see if that happens. But in any case, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in turn 33. Okay, folks, it is turn 33 of Mirrorpoint, and I remembered last turn I forgot to rename this guy, so now he's Flash Step. So, Flash Step and Teleports Behind You have succeeded in their missions, taking over these 2 provinces, a net of over 200 in income that we are currently denying to Orem. Fantastic. However, Nothing Personal Kid and the cubes both failed in their missions. Lake Fortune, the cubes really did actually very poorly. I expected better of them, but I'm reminded of why I never really used en masse gelatinous cubes. They're really only good if you can layer a whole bunch of buffs on them, which I could not. So the and Ictiids are actually surprisingly good province defense because they have this net ability, which can be used once to entangle people and make them very, very easy to kill. So the cubes rushed in, trampled, and then basically got stabbed to death. They weren't very easy to net because they were large, but they were very easy to stab to death. So Elec the Snail Shaman also died. And then down here in Sailor's Haven we reconquered easily. It was Narun Sea. And as we can see in Narun Sea, the problem here is that Soul Warriors are also vulnerable to nets. Also, these guys have a Ictiid Shaman for some reason as their province defense captain. So, our buddy here teleported to the rear, killed that guy. Then he teleported back into the enemy and started fighting them. And they very slowly chipped him down with damage. He kept taking hits through his various layers of defenses. He wasn't paralyzing them quite quick enough. His protection wasn't quite high enough. Those tridents, the stone spears, don't do much damage, but they were rolling high enough to get past him. And he had to flee. So he fled. Not too bad. Also, hilariously, in Green Coast, first I lost 100% tax, and then I got 250% tax, which I still think works out to nothing in Green Coast, especially because the income is red. I can't draw income from this province anyway. So, nothing happened. So, what I'm doing now is I'm collapsing troops, thugs, and Bugsy Seagull all onto the mountains of Evernight. We can see here, I've got kind of a small force. I've got some tramplers, I've got some of my great sentries, I've got some rear attackers, and I've got a little bit of chaff up front. And then in the back we have the meat and potatoes of my force. Bugsy Seagull, Flash Step, Nothing Personal Kid, and teleports behind you. They are all back there. We've got Ipabor casting a swarm. This guy is laying down anti-magic and then spamming Paralyze in an effort to hit some of the enemy mages, and Farrell is just throwing fireballs, I think. Oh no, he's casting Prison of Fire in an effort to lock down some of the enemy infantry. And all these guys I've hit enchantment level 4, so I now have Body Ethereal. So Bugsy Seagull is already ethereal, but the ethereality will increase the effectiveness of these three pretty significantly by cutting down 3/4 of the hits they might otherwise take. And so all three of these guys are going to jump on in, and with the high defense skill, the astral shields, the vine shields on 2 of them, plus the ethereality, they should be able to do some pretty good work. They'll be attacking rear, so they should, hopefully, them and Bugsy Seagull should hop into the mage lines and just start causing havoc immediately. And once we kill the mages, of course, then the infantry will rout, and we got them. And this is a whole bunch of chaff garbage infantry. Now, chaff garbage infantry can still be dangerous, especially in amounts this large, but they should pretty much get hung up fighting the Great Sentries. Great Sentries are very tough for chaff infantry to cut through, especially when they have just a little bit of chaff themselves. And so they should be, I think this should be fine. Once we kill the mages off, it should be a rout. So after that, we'll be going back underwater. Actually, what we're going to do immediately after that is we're moving this army in, and I'm kind of betting he's been pinging me every turn. I'm kind of betting he's not patrolling with everybody. If he is patrolling with everybody, might actually lose this fight. But we're pretty tough. We'll do pretty significant damage to him even if we do lose the fight. And over here, we're pumping out Hallownest Lancers, so our Fort Siege defense is skyrocketing very, very rapidly. You can see our Fort Siege defense is right now 54. Part of that is because 20 Hallownest Lancers are actually part of our defenses natively, and then part of it is because Hallownest Lancers contribute more than 1.5 points each. So our fort defense is going up pretty quick, which is fantastic. And of course we have the teleporting thugs. So if they try to come out, we'll land a posse of teleporting thugs on their heads and wreak righteous havoc. So, should be good. Also, we're starting to get enough communion slaves together that if we want to, we can now actually field battle communions. We've got a whole bunch of our various soul twisters, and we've got a whole bunch of mountain shamans. We could easily field a communion with 8 slaves or so. We don't have the best research for doing communion combat stuff yet, albeit we do have Horde of Skeletons. So if we wanted to, we could take Trakan here and Theok, and we could field them at the head of a communion and spam skeletons pretty effectively, which could be interesting. We want some more death randoms before I start going down that road, honestly. And I really want this province, because taking this province also will enable me to recruit another great sentry or two every turn, which will be fantastic, because I really do need to mass those guys. So, that's the plan here. In other hilarious news, Satis's Devourer of Souls, and I know this through the Discord, Satis's Devourer of Souls has actually eaten Drangleik's god. They have been at war for a little while here, and Drangleik's god has had his soul devoured by the Devourer of Souls. So, yeah, bad luck for him. Just really, really hard luck for Drangleik. I'll see if maybe I can transform that into something for me, but for right now, I really do have to focus on Orym. So this army is going to go in. Their army may be larger than mine, but I don't think it's necessarily better? Question mark? Got a few guys spamming Paralyze in this army, a small communion doing that. And then we've got these minor bugs right at the rear. You should be spamming Paralyze, not Farstrike. Paralyze is a much more interesting spell. Actually, oh no, I know what you should be doing. You should be dropping Body Ethereal on my Sacreds. Yes, do that. That you should drop Body Ethereal as well. You should be right up here. And you, after you cast your anti-magic, you should also be casting Body Ethereal. So we're going to etherealize as many of our great sentries as possible. And ethereal great sentries will be a nightmare to handle. They will be so hilariously frustrating to fight. So that will be fantastic. And of course they'll be strength upped. They'll just have all kinds of fun. Yeah, that should be the next turn. In terms of research, we're rushing down towards Alteration, level 6. Level 5 will give us Wooden Warriors, which is a great buff for our Nature Mages to cast, and Mother Oak. Wooden Warriors will not actually affect our bugs much, except it'll give them +1 prot. It'll make them vulnerable to fire, too. But then level 6 will give us Manifest Vitriol, and we will start just crapping out green lions like you wouldn't believe. We have the income to maintain 5 green lions per turn every turn forever, and that sounds like a really good idea to me, so that's kind of like, yep, that's what I plan to do, just Snail Shamans. Every Water 2 Snail Shaman just summoning a green lion forever. That'd be pretty great. I would love that. So, that's the plan, and I'll see you as we execute that plan in turn 34. Take care. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, Mirrorpoint turn 34, and this is the biggest news this turn. Battle in the Mountains of Evernight. We dropped in some troops, and, didn't mean to press that key. We airdropped in our little goon squad. Bugsy Seagull, the Radiance with 120 hit points, and teleports behind you, Nothing Personal Kid, and Flash Step, the Soul Warriors. They're all casting their buffs, Personal Luck, Twisting Fate, Astral Shields, Body Ethereal, all that kind of good stuff. And then they are going to hop to the back and attempt to assassinate these mages back here. Big horde of chaff up front, dropping Prison of Fire on some of them, throwing in some swarm bugs. Our infantry are going in, and then, boom! Boom goes the dynamite, in come the rear attackers. We've got the Hallownest Lancers charging in, doing some damage. Bugsy Seagull, the Radiance, and his Thug Boys also charging in, and really kind of wrecking shop on this this rear line here. Slowcad, the Deer Tribe Shaman, has had an arm cut off by a javelin. What a throw. They've lost one mage down here, more mages going away. Nothing Personal Kid took a big hit from that shockwave and is weakened now, plus has only 14 hit points. But the others are doing fine. 30 hit points there, 30 hit points there. Just kind of killing people as they come. And then they're going to hop to the back of these archers and start killing them instead. The enemy army routs, and my great sentries roll through to clean up what's left. So, fairly straightforward battle. We lost most of our chaff, including most of the Hallownest Lancers and Great Stags, most of the Moss Knights, a strict majority of the Moss Knights, half the Warrior Bugs, but Soul Warriors, tons of kills. Radiance, interestingly, no kills whatsoever. That's funny. Great Sentries, tons of kills, no casualties. Wiped them out, and we took the place. We have also taken Orym. We rolled over 76 province defense units, mainly Legionnaires. Lost a few units, including one Great Sentry, unfortunately. But we done good. We have taken the place, and the walls are now severely damaged. Which means, since we've got 369 siege strength, and they have 300 wall integrity on their fortified city. That, I think, means that we've done at least about 200 points of damage this one turn, and we'll crack them next turn. That also means their siege defense is no more than about 160. Or maybe 200, maybe, I don't know. I think severely means we're going to break it next turn. So we should be fine there. Up there, this is the inner throne, it turns out. Possibly the least useful of the outstanding thrones. Inner throne's fine, but I would have preferred one of these thrones that gives me more gems, or lets me recruit mages, or something. Crystal throne or silver throne, both would have been super sweet. But you know what, we'll take what we can get. It does spread dominion twice. It gives us extra order, which will be nice, more recruitment points. And it gives us some blood slaves, so it might help us get into blood, which would be kind of hilarious. I mean, we've got all these priests around. We might as well, like, turn them into blood mages, right? So, all my thugs are hopping down to Orem. Bugsy Seagull is claiming the throne. We've given him a ring of water breathing. After he does that, he is going to hop down here to clear these underwater provinces, because I'm sick of them being here. Claim the throne, please. Our army is maintaining the siege, and like I said, we're hopping the thugs down, so if he tries to break out, he's going to run into a nasty surprise there. We've got a random miner bug who has run away over here, but that's fine. We're now bordering Lothric, and we're hoping we can push down here to take this whole area because we're looking at thrones, right? And in this game, you need 7 out of the 10 thrones in order to win, so it's going to be a bit of a slog, but this can give us a good start, because we've got this throne here we're about to claim. We should be able to take that one, hopefully. We'll have a good shot at taking this one. That gives us 3. After that, it gets more complicated. There's a throne here that our thugs can take if we go underwater. We have forged a number of rings of water breathing, so we can go underwater after it. We've got, so that would be 4. That's 5. 6 and 7 going to be a little bit more challenging. That's probably 6 right there, Feral Woods. But to do that, we have to go through all of Anor Londo, or all of Ulm. Probably all of Anor Londo. And then that might be 7. But that's in the middle of Satis. I don't really want to go to war with Satis ever if I can, like, avoid it, because they're the big and scary ones on the block. So, might have to go to war with them at some point. But there's a throne there, and a throne there. So Satis is in a good spot to make a play for those 3, and to make a play for this one, because of course they can send the Devourer of Souls underwater, and nothing anybody else has can really stop the Devourer of Souls very effectively. Possibly I could send a big communion stack to do it. Speaking of communion stacks, I've now gotten to the point where I can definitely use these guys in combat if I really want to, but we need to finish running down to Alteration level 6 to get Control, and Control is actually kind of a lame spell, but Battle Fortune is a really good spell. It gives luck to 5 people. To 5 squares worth of people, rather, which would be very, very amusing and powerful on my great sentries. So, things are going well. Moving some more people out to site search. That looks like it's already been possibly site searched for nature, but we're going to try again anyway. Swapping these guys around to site search for water and nature down there. In terms of gems, all of my gem income is pretty bad except for water. Water is pretty good. Earth and astral are decent, but nature is low. Death is low. Fire is okay. Air is non-existent. That siren needs to, that siren we got needs to keep up the site search, and I tell you what. But we've alchemized a lot of gems in order to forge some extra gear. In the next couple of turns here, we're going to summon another soul warrior so we can have a total of 4 and have that posse flying around. But like I said, we're popping all 3 down to help take Orem, and then after that we'll spread out to snatch up these provinces. We'll besiege Andoria and then Vena. I think Andoria will be more valuable to take first. And of course we'll take back Green Coast, because Green Coast has a very high income. And that'll be fantastic. So, that's the plan. I'm going to pop 1 more point of defense in there. We're bordering Man now, so I need to contact them to make sure we're not going to get stabbed in the side by anybody. Satis and Drangleic are at war. Drangleic is going to get eaten, especially because it looks like Lothric might also be putting pressure on them. But, ooh, a Lake of Mists. Very nice. But, honestly, I feel pretty good about the state we're in. We also infiltrated Drangleic again, so we can take a look at their graphs, and we can see that Drangleic has significantly fewer provinces than us at this point. They have fewer forts, they have less income, and their gem income is also a lot lower. So that's really nice to know. We're doing very well. However, research-wise, pretty much neck and neck. Also, in provinces, of course, we can look at Satis and Ulm. We can see that both of them, at least back then, had a lot more provinces than us. We have gone up quite a bit in the intervening time. About even on forts. Way higher in income. Way higher in income. It is almost embarrassing how badly we're being out-incomed, so that is going to be a problem. We have got to take care of this this middle-aged Satis issue that we have. Especially because they're diseasing everything, and I don't like being diseased, so we need to keep making sure that our Dominion gets pushed, so that we don't have a whole lot of troops and commanders in disease lands getting all the diseases and such. Down here, just shifting troops around. We're keeping these guys here just as a kind of a ghetto garrison force. Varric, meanwhile, is taking the flyers. He's going to hop over here, pick up these flyers, and then he's going to hop down to help break forts. Because one thing Hallownest Lancers are really good for is breaking forts. We're forging some more items, like I said. And we've got Farrell, with these troops, is going to roll down south to help out with stuff. And we can now recruit. We should be able to recruit one more Great Sentry if we had the money, which we don't. So we're going to stop recruiting those guys because they're very expensive. Recruit one more Great Sentry, a total of 5 per turn. That's nice. Very, very nice. Now we've got a whole bunch more flyers here. Got to swing down towards Orem as well. Like I said, we're just hoping to crack forts as quickly as possible. With the Minor Bugs and the Hallownest Lancers. Minor Bugs are more efficient, but they really can't fight worth a shucks. 5.5 siege strength. Maybe. Map move 12, map move 20. That's the thing. These guys can just move so much faster. Yeah, we're just going to keep pumping them out, I think. And up here, we've got 187 gold. I think we're recruiting mages everywhere. We need mages. Yeah, might as well get some more of the old Hallownest Lancers. Just mass them up and use them to break forts. Excellent, excellent siege chef. So, that's the turn. And I will see you all in turn 35. We're doing well. I'm happy with how we're doing. In terms of provinces, we're getting up there so we can compete with the big boys. We're competitive with Ulm. We're behind Satis, but I think we can get there. We're ahead of Lothric. We're ahead of Drangleic, especially since Drangleic is getting the crap kicked out of them right at the moment. We're definitely ahead of Man. And, of course, we're definitely ahead of Orem. So I think we're in a pretty decent spot. Just have to keep it rolling, and pretty soon we're going to start deploying Soul Twisters and Battle Communions as a big thing, but we need the gems and we need the research first. So, in any case, I'll see you all in turn 35.